you, ladies and gentlemen. And now for Burt Kimmelman, welcome to the White House. And the mic is all yours, Burt. Thank you very much indeed.
First of all, let me say that my wife Diane and I are honored to be here with you tonight, and we're very grateful to Barney and Dominic for arranging for us to be here. And it's been a really glorious night. We're having a ball. I'm going to start with some very short, brief poems, just as a kind of warm-up. Let me just check the time. For the last number of years, I've been writing syllabic poems, and they help me to dig deep down to get the language that I need. Syllabic poems, in other words, syllabic poems are, let's say you'll have a certain set number of syllables in a line. So, now this is a pamphlet that was published. It was a series of pamphlets that were called Backwoods Broadsides. They were published by someone who lived in the backwoods of Maine in the United States. And they weren't sold in bookstores, but they were by subscription. And I tried for a number of years. I kept sending the editor poems that I thought would work in this kind of format, and he kept rejecting me. And then it was, I think, late October, and I wrote a poem about what it was like just outside, and like in our backyard where we live. We live in a suburb of New York City, but there are lots of trees and bushes and birds and so forth. So anyway, I wrote a poem and I called it Late October. And then I decided, well, in late November, I'll try and write something about what it's like in late November. And each of these poems are like very brief. They're like Japanese haikus. And, a certain number of syllables in the line. So eventually I had a complete calendar. I had a complete year. And then I sent them to this editor and he took them. So anyway. So I'm going to just warm up with reading the year. I'll start with late January. And I should say that you're going to have to use your imagination, perhaps, if you don't know the geography of the New York City area, because it gets a little colder than it does here in the winter, and it gets a little warmer than it does here in the summer. But, Okay. Late January. White sun across branches. Windy day. Snow. No one believes the light will last. Late February. No denying the sun, even in the moment of cold. Crocus pushing through soil into the world. Late March. Streaks of light cut across the morning ice. Red buds along the simple brush, a single bird calling. Late April. Blossoms, then the leaves, among which a trill, one note, another, again, alights on the scattered branches. Late May. Light against a bend of leaves, birds half in morning shadow, slow heat rising, several peeps start up all at once. Late June. Late June has an epigraph from a poet by the name of Ronald Johnson, and the epigraph reads, "Wave of warblers weaving chirp to chirp message." Late June. The day's signals, each warble, trill and chirp, on again, off again, on again, again. Once the red sun has seated itself below the treetop, creatures cease their back and forth, a sudden heat gone, slight breeze, light tendering darkness, one day, another. Late July. The cicada winds its plain chant from earliest daylight, scattered like seeds below the maple tree. Late August. Warm sun all day and the chill of the evening moon, its full face through the tops of trees. The leaves hold on in the new dark. Late September. Afternoon sun forcing shadows under leaves. The squirrels settle into busy routines, running along the limbs of trees, digging in the warm grass, already gathering for the deep interval, winter far off no more, to be denied in the chilly dark of evening. Late October. Red, pink, white impatience growing wild and tawdry, half covered with the fall of leaves, sun. No reason, it seems, for the cold air, the late light staying on. Late November. The tree outside my window is bare now, but for one brown spot in the vast slate sky, a diffidence, the brittle leaves holding back what must come to pass. Late December. Thin ice along the fragile branch, bending low of its own weight. Wind and moon tighten the new darkness.